Welcome back everyone to another Girl Power Day 0 build. We are starting in with our reprint characters, for those of you who may not have been able to experience these characters when they were first released. And we are starting with Ibara Shiozaki. I'm also joined by my co-host, Sam. Say hi, Sam. We're doing some rearranging in the office, and he decided to come up on the stepladder and kind of chill, so I thought I'd put him in frame. Yeah, he'll be doing his own thing. So, Ibara Shiozaki. She is a 7 hand size, 19 health character. She has 1B and student as her character traits, and she has earth, life, and water for her symbols, and I went with the life symbol today. She has 2 enhances, the first of which is, this attack gets -1 damage. Your next attack this turn gets +3 damage. So this means you can give one of your attacks -1 damage, your next attack gets +3. Then you can give that one -1, and your next one will get +3. However, you can also use this on your rivals' attacks to give consistent -1 damage across their whole line, and since it says your attack gets +3 damage, they don't get any attack bonuses. Isn't that cool? He thinks it's cool. Then she has another enhance, a once per turn, your next low attack ignores progressive difficulty. I'm really glad she shares no symbols with Walk the Dog. But let's see what low attacks she does share symbol with. We're going to start with Piercing Thorn Lances. This is an attack that was also reprinted in Girl Power for Shiozaki. It is a 4-5. It says Enhance. You can add one other low attack from your card pool to your momentum. Okay, he's decided to screw off and do his... Okay. So he decided to jump down from the ladder, go all the way around, and jump up on my lap. Kind of the long way about, isn't it? Could have just... No? Okay. Alright, I'm going to stop getting distracted. So you can add one other low attack from your card pool to your momentum, clearing your card pool, giving you a little bit of less progressive difficulty through the turn. That's great. And then as a Shiozaki enhance, we can force our rival to reveal a high block as an additional cost to block this low attack. So they have to have a high block and a low block in order to block this attack, which is really solid. And since this is usually going to be coming in for 8 damage, that's pretty solid damage. Next we have Hunter's Pursuit. This is a 5-5 with EX2, so you can spend any number of momentum as an enhance, and for each momentum you spend you get +2 speed. And if you have 3 or more face-down foundations, your next attack will get -2 difficulty, so again, lowering the progressive difficulty throughout the turn. We do want to string out, we are a 7 hand size character, and that's pretty good. Then we have Black Abyss. This is a 5-6. If it's going into your momentum, it goes face up. As an enhance, if it deals damage, your next check to play an attack, it's +1. Again, really evening out that string. And in your momentum, once per turn, you can give your attack +1 speed, +X speed, and +X damage, where X equals the number of copies of Black Abyss in your momentum. So the more Black Abyss you have in your momentum, the more damage and speed each copy will give your attack, which is really cool to throw on that attack that ignores progressive difficulty. Something like Ojigi Plant Strike. A 4-4. As an enhance, it says if it's not blocked, your rival loses 2 health, and that can reduce them to 0. So that little extra chip on them could mean the difference between, life and death. And then we're not going to use the other enhance on it because it's spending a momentum to search our deck or discard pile for a copy of our starting character and building it. We don't care about that. We do have some non-low attacks. I think those are all of our low attacks. And then we have the high attack Black Abyss Sabbath. We can spend a momentum. Our next check gets +2, and our rival's next check gets -2. So kind of pushing forward that damage, especially if we put 3 damage on this. 5 high 8, or even if we gave it -1 damage, so our next attack is +3, 5 high 7's nothing to sneeze at. So 5 high 7 and their check gets -2 to block, really good. Then we have Covert Black Ops Arms. It's a 4 mid 6, or potentially a 4 mid 9 with Shiozaki's ability. As a static, if it is blocked, our next ally or weapon attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for every 4 foundations in our rival's stage. Usually, after turn 2, your rival might be sitting around 7 or 8, so this could be up to maybe +2/+2. And that's ranged, that's an ally, so that gets, that can get it. That's an ally and weapon. That can get it. That's an ally. That's an ally and weapon. That's an ally and weapon. That's a weapon. So the only thing that cannot get this boost is Piercing Thorn Lances. And I think that's because I thought it was a weapon for some reason. But still pretty solid in giving extra stats to a future attack, especially if it's one that we're going to cause to ignore progressive difficulty, get the +3 damage from Shiozaki, maybe +2/+2, and then maybe we give it some more stats with Black Abyss. That's really going to be a solid line to try to play. And lastly, Instant Shining Flash. This is a 4/4. It's some momentum hate. After you play it, your rival spends a momentum. And you can flip a foundation. Your next card gets -1 difficulty. So, helps with the flow of your turn, and helps keep your rival's momentum in check. Moving on to our non-attack cards, we have Airy. Just, again, one of the most useful defensive pieces. At the start of your end phase, you can ready a non-unique asset or foundation. And you can remove Airy and spend a momentum to basically survive an attack with 1 health. It reduces the attack to your current health -1 to a minimum of 1. So, guaranteeing that you're going to survive at least 1 extra attack in a turn. And then, in the space of life assets with low blocks that are really, really helpful and unique, it unbox, returning things to their printed speed and damage, returning them to the printed zones, making unblockable attacks blockable. This is just a lifesaver of an asset on any symbol that can play it. Moving on to actions, we have the Dark Tournament Looms, great for picking up our momentum and drawing cards. So turning 1 card in our hand into 2. Then we can pick up cards like Ojigi Plant Strike or Hunter's Pursuit to try to continuously use them throughout the turns. And then we have Ruthless Mockery. If we block with Ruthless Mockery, our rival's attacks get -2 damage for the rest of the combat phase, including the card that you block. So if you partial block an attack with this -2 does happen on block before damage, so it does get the -2 damage on top of that. It has a second enhance, so the second enhance you want to do during an attack, to give an attack +2 damage, and if it has taunt, draw a card and give it stun 1. None of our cards have taunt. We don't worry about that. This is mainly in here to give -2 damage while Shiozaki herself is giving -1 damage, so -3 damage on every attack that our rival plays. Really solid and really good at keeping that 19 health alive as long as possible. On to foundations, we have Steadfast Resolve, gets us out of deadlock, gives +1 or -1 damage by destroying a foundation when an attack is played. Super. Especially if we're giving -1 damage on top of Shiozaki, on top of Ruthless Mockery, just making sure we keep our rival's damage output as low as possible. We have Team Stash. We commit this, our next charge or weapon gets +2 speed and +2 damage. That counts as every attack except for Hunter's Pursuit and Ojigi Plant Strike. I think those are the only 2 that can't get this 2/2, but everything else can, and again, one of our low attacks is going to ignore progressive difficulty, so we can turn all of these sideways and throw our huge bomb at the end to just really dunk on our opponent. Curious about quirks? It's free draw. It's free real estate. Your rival's going to play their character ability, you're going to draw a card. Exam Strategy. This is another way to stack a whole bunch of stats on your final card in your attack string, because it gets +1 speed, +1 damage for each attack in your card pool, and the Deflect 2 to help mitigate even more damage is really nice. Faith Shield, this is Shiozaki's foundation. This is the best block in the game, unless you're counting something that was used with Barrier Shield as a block. The fact that this can make an attack do no damage and flip it is really good. Yes, it's a +3 mid, but we do have, skipping ahead, Genkai's training to make that a +0 mid. We've got Demon Plants. We can commit this, choose an ally attack in our card pool. That card doesn't count towards progressive difficulty for the turn. We are running 2, 4, 7, 11, 14 allies, which is really good. So if we're lowering the difficulty of our attacks, we're making things not count towards progressive, we're clearing our card pool with Piercing Thorn Lances, we are making sure that our strings go as smoothly as possible. Keiko Support, we commit this, the next card that we try to play that shares at least 2 symbols with our character gets -2 difficulty or -2 to its block modifier. Making Faith Shield a +1 mid instead of a +3 is always a good idea. or reducing the difficulty of our next attack if we haven't been able to get the Instant Shining Flash or the Hunter's Pursuit, something like that, into our next attack. Keiko's Aid can really help flow those together. Then we have Genkai's Training. We commit it, and if we try to block an attack with a card that shares at least 2 symbols with our character, the modifier becomes 0. So this also includes any bonuses that our rival has put onto our block modifiers with cards like Bubble Girl or Hagakure 2. Anything that would increase the block modifier, this will automatically set it to 0 when you try to block with it. So it's really, really handy. And then, as a Tenacious ability or playable while committed, we spend a Momentum, ready this foundation. Awesome. We have Keiko's Aid, because it's one of the best defensive foundations in the game. Flip it after we block an attack. The rival's next attack is +2 difficulty. Not much to say about that. Syndicate Target is just a really good block. It's a 6 check. It's a +0 low. After we play it, we lose a health, but it's a +0 low. That's pretty good rate of exchange. Fast Friendship, we flip this for -2 speed, and sometimes -3 speed, if we have more face-down foundations than our rival. Number 10, Pro Hero. This is just like Syndicate Target, but it's a +1 high as opposed to a +0 low. It's a 6 check, just great spam. Vast Strength can remove the non-keyword abilities from our rival's attacks after they play them, which can help keep us alive in key situations. Incredible Display. If we block with a foundation, we can commit Incredible Display to add it back to our hand. Don't use that with Face Shield, but any other foundation is great. Or we can commit it and spend a Momentum to cancel non-character responsibilities. We have Keeping Ares Safe, a little bit of anti-stun. After your rival forces you to commit it due to their effect, you get to ready it. Once per turn anyway. Nedry of the Big Three keeps us out of deadlock, gives damage to our cards, or our rival's cards, and if that card is blocked, we get to gain health. On top of all the damage reduction that we're already doing, just helps us stay alive even longer. And then Heroic Assistance quickly becoming one of my favorite anti-stun cards, because after one or more foundations of ours is committed due to a rival effect, we get to flip this and ready 2 foundations that have not been readied this combat phase. So, really solid there. And as a cheeky bit of deadlock in hand, so we can flip this, look at our rival's hand, and change the zone of our attack. So if we're throwing low, and we see that they have the low blocks, but they don't have a high block because they're blocking low, we can flip that to high and guarantee some damage. And that is my Life Ibara Shiozaki Day 0 build. Just another one of those basics, what do they want to do kind of things. That's what I try to do with all of these Day 0 builds. And she was released all the way back in Crimson Rampage, back when maybe some of you weren't playing, so you didn't have a chance to check out Vine Whip Girl here, and now you're getting a chance to look at her for the first time. If so, I hope this video helped. If it did, please like the video. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, because after the Day 0 builds, gonna try to get back to my regularly scheduled programming of 2 videos a week, maybe 3, and I might have a new series coming out, while I also simultaneously work on the Hermit School of Universus. So, if you do want to learn more about how to play or have questions about rules or mechanics, you can check the playlist below for whichever video might help you out with that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.